Hi, how you going? So for this week's video, I thought I'd give you a quick review of my new favorite gadget. And this is something that I bought for $53. They usually sell for just over $100, which in my opinion is still a very good deal. So it looks like a standard Game Boy, possibly a bit larger, but what this is an emulator. So this will play any games from the PlayStation 1 all the way down to pretty much every single computer system that existed before that. So it'll play Game Boy games, it'll play Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, it'll play Sega, it'll play Sega Genesis, it'll play the original Nintendo Entertainment System games, it'll play Amiga, Commodore 64, all of that kind of stuff. What I got this for was pretty much Tony Hawk 2. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I bought the remastered one recently, been playing that a lot, and I heard that it was possible to play Tony Hawk 2 on this machine. So that's what I've got running here. And that's what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks or so. So what do you get in the box? You get the game machine, you get an instruction booklet, which I haven't even opened. You get some screen protectors, which I haven't put on, and some wipes, a cable, and a memory card and reader. And on the memory card, for me, I know some people didn't get this, but for me, this has thousands of games on it. You can download those games off the internet if you don't get the memory card with it. So it has a dual-core 1.2 gigahertz processor. It has a 3.5-inch 640 by 480 screen. 640 by 480 might not sound like a lot, but on a unit this size, I've found that it's more than enough. And given that most of the games from the PlayStation down were only playing in standard definition anyway, that works fine. It charges by USB-C. It's got a 3000 milliamp hour battery, which I've found gets about 5 or 6 hours of gameplay before you need to recharge it, and it doesn't take a long time to recharge. For me, I use it for public transport on the way to and from work, and that's more than enough battery life. It feels like a lot, doesn't feel like it runs out of battery a lot, so yeah, it works fine for me. But what I've been mostly using this for is Tony Hawk 2 and 4. I tried to install a bunch of other PlayStation games, and for some reason they're not working on this, but Tony Hawk 2 works and Tony Hawk 4 works. I'm currently on my third playthrough of Tony Hawk 2. The gameplay is still that good, however many decades after this was originally released. The other game I've been playing a bit of is Prince of Persia. It has that original gameplay. It's simple, but just works really, really well. It shows that if you make a good game with a good concept, then it's timeless. The more research I do on this, the more I find that there are just so many games available. Pretty much every game that ever came out on any of the Game Boys is available for this. Same with the Nintendo. Yeah, and you can even go back as far as the Commodore 64 or the Amiga. They're all there as well. I haven't really looked into those much yet, but I will be intrigued to try them out at some stage. And that's what's so great about this. There are almost unlimited games to play. That some of them will be terrible, but some of them are amazing. Tony Hawk games are amazing. So while it might take a little while to find those gems, or you Google around and see what other people are enjoying on the machine, but there is just so much that can be done with this that I don't know that I'll ever get sick of it. I've been looking at playing the original Sonics. If you're a Pokemon fan, all the Pokemon games work on this. I updated the operating system that came with it. The operating system that came with it isn't that great, but I put Onion OS on it, which was quite a simple process, and there's lots of tutorials on how to do that online. So I've put that on, and that gives you the search functionality, which, given that there's so many games on this, is a really useful thing, and it just makes it cleaner and nicer to use. I've told you all the good things, so on to the bad. And for this price point, I don't think there's many. Everything that might not work as well on this, you have to remember it costs $53, or if you pay the full price, $103. It's, for that price, it's unbelievable. So yeah, there's a bunch of games that I've put on there that don't work properly, but that might be something that I'm doing. It might be those games specifically, but some more experimentation and I can see if I can get them working. But in the meantime, there's still thousands of games on here, so a few not working isn't killing the device for me. So that's probably it for the bad things. It is genuinely the best $50 that I've spent on a gadget in however long I can remember. It's such a good little unit, and given the almost unlimited amount of games for it, it will continue. I can't see myself getting sick of it, because if I do, I'll just find another game that brings back the nostalgia. We had a Sega back in the day, so I'll probably work my way through all of that, the Alex Kidd games, the Sonic games, all of that, and then I can move on to the Mario games. And it's kind of amazing, and I'm still blown away that this was delivered to me for $50. So that's my review of the Miyoo Mini Plus V3. I'll put a link in the description to this on Amazon. I feel like that's probably a safer bet than Temu. But yeah, I really enjoy this, and it feels like such a good way to have spent $50. Let me know if you've got any questions, and I'll see you next week. Bye.